Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Let's get into the circle. Today I'm going to review episodes 8 and 9 together because they kind of flow together for me and they both weren't like popping like the rest, so they might be really quick. And I'm going to title it The Rise and Fall of Khat. Within 2 episodes, she went up, all the way up, and then she went all the way down. So let's start with episode 8. Episode 8 was mostly a continuation of exposing Emily. And I love to see it. I love to see when people pick a catfish that they can't play. Like, I don't understand why Jack would want to play a sorority girl when he doesn't really seem like he had enough research to be a sorority girl. Like, Delisa is on it. Like, Delisa had her husband write a full book on how to catfish as him. Jack should have had the same thing. The big part of episode 8 was the anonymous questions game, and I love when they can send those anonymous questions. It gets real shady. It gets real messy. And like last season was kind of boring. Like, everybody this season got a good shady question. First, somebody calls Trevor out for being a catfish. Like, how does it feel to be a catfish? Now, I thought they were on to Trevor, and I feel like they get on to Trevor, then Trevor says something, and they back off. And I'm like, no, keep putting his foot to the fire. It's like y'all too nice for Trevor. And Trevor says something about, oh, I would never lie about having a daughter. I have morals. And I'm like, this is a game for $100,000. People lie all the time. Like, what are you all thinking? You don't know these people for real. Courtney got called out for being fake. And I was happy somebody called him out for being fake. And I felt like they should have pressed Courtney a little bit more for being the Joker. But anyway, like, Courtney said a little boo-hoo, like, oh, why would you all think I'm fake? I don't make friends in real life, so I'm so happy to have friends here. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Courtney is a YouTube blogger, or maybe not YouTube, but internet. Whatever he does, he's in the celebrity realm of the internet. And those people usually have a huge personality, a big personality, and I can't imagine he doesn't have any friends. But let's move on. They called Chloe out for flirting as a strategy. I mean, we really didn't have to call that out because everyone knows Chloe is flirting as a strategy. And like they said, what do you expect her to say? Like, she's going to deny it. But the biggest question that gave me life was, Emily, what's your favorite 5 makeup brands? One, it took Emily too long to answer. Like, as a woman, even if you don't wear makeup, you know the basics. Maybelline, L'Oreal, CoverGirl, NYX. Everybody knows MAC. I mean, those don't even have to be your favorites. And then Emily didn't even give you 5. She gave you 3. And she was like, I don't really wear a lot of makeup, but every picture she got on a full beat. Miss me with it, Emily. Like, if you were to ask me, Angie, what's your 5 favorite makeup brands? It would take me 0.5 seconds to have those little dots. It took, like, she had to get up, run to the bathroom. They must have had it covered for, they didn't want to pay sponsorship or whatever. So they had to put tape over the actual labels. And then she just made something up. Collection code girl. I would have told y'all I am a Too Faced girl for my foundation. I love me some Dose of Colors and Juvia's Place for the eyeshadow. When it comes to the highlighter, I'm into, is it Dose of Colors? No, it's Dominique Cosmetics. And then for the lipsticks, I have every lip gloss that NYX has ever created. Almost every damn Kat Von D matte lipstick, MAC, Juvia's Place, the list goes on and on. Like, I wish I could pan my camera. I have so much makeup. Like, Emily, exposed. Let's move on from that because I would have loved to have a good makeup conversation. Anyway, Emily and Lance, the 2 obvious catfish, decide they want to have an alliance, but dun dun dun, too late. It's time to do the ratings. Don't nobody care about y'all alliance. This week, 2 people have to go home And it's not that exciting because once they do the ratings, the bottom two automatically go home. Let's talk about the ratings really quick. Chloe was number 1. And I'm like, this should, danger, alert, alert, alert. Chloe is too popular. What are y'all doing? Vote her ass out. Khat was number 2. And I'm like, as a new person coming in at number 2, I was like, go girl, Khat. You doing the damn thing. Let's go. River and Trevor were 3 or 4. I might have them backwards. Mitchell came in 5. I was kind of surprised because I thought a lot of people liked Mitchell. Courtney wasn't last, but ultimately he was number 6. And I was like, that's what your ass get. You was laughing at everybody else, getting your life when everybody else was at the bottom. Now your ass almost went home. But ultimately, it was Lance and Emily. They got the boot. Get out of here. And I think that was the end of the episode. Oh, no. So now they get to go visit 2 people. And here is the gotcha. Emily thinks she's going to go visit Trevor. I don't know why Emily wanted to go see Trevor. Let's talk about that later. Lance went to go see River. I completely understand that. River basically said, I'm your biggest fan. And they end up seeing each other. And they was like, you're Trevor? You're River? No, I'm Emily. I'm Lance. And I'm like, it was cute watching them be like, oh, we were both catfish. And then the circle tells them they get a second chance at the game and they get to play this old man. And we'll get into that at the beginning of the next episode real quick. But my whole thing was, why do they get a second chance at the game? Like, why doesn't everyone who gets eliminated get some kind of special power? Like, Brian got the deuces. He was up out of there. Savannah gets to lead the game and basically can recruit Courtney to play her game for her. You know, she at home, but at least Courtney is getting out her targets. And she gets to give Courtney a power. Terralisha, deuces, girl, go sit down in Texas somewhere. And then Lance and Emily, they get a second chance. I felt like everybody should get an opportunity to leave a twist in the game. I ain't like that everybody doesn't get the same opportunity, but let's move on and go right into episode 9 because Jack and Lisa now have to set up their profile. Their profile, when it opens, it's an older gentleman, his picture, so they have to play somebody old. And then his occupation is already there. He's a psychic. In a way, that's genius. That's genius because Lance or Jack and Lisa, I'm going to call them Lance and Emily. Y'all going to know who I'm talking about. Jack and Lisa ultimately know these people from the circle. So they know their stories. They know their energy. They know their vibe. They know the back history amongst the feuding of the players. So it's kind of genius because if they were to slip up and say something, they could be like, oh, the energy told me. Hey, yo, I've been on. Oh, okay. Anyway, I like the catfish. I really do. Because I never really finished the Circle UK 2, the one with the older gentleman. Like, I started to watch it. But I like when the older people play because I feel like they're more authentic and I feel like they're more believable. You wouldn't think that they were a catfish. I like how they brought pieces of themselves to John. I think Jack said his real name was John. So now I'm really confused. What is your name? John Jack? What is it? They already have a psychic. They have pictures of him being Santa. So of course he's a part-time Santa. I think he's been in a relationship for 38 years, but I think Lisa wanted him to be gay because she was already playing Lance as gay. And they felt it would be good. They could get in with Courtney and River to continue the pride thing. I don't know. But anyway, he got a partner. He got some grown-ass kids. And he loved improv and reading books. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So now the news feed comes up. And I'm happy they let Emily and Lance reveal that they were a catfish and give their goodbyes, because it would have thrown it all the way off if these 2 people left the circle and it was nothing else about it. So everyone is like, aha, look at Jack. He was playing this sorority girl. And I was like, oh, I can't believe it. I knew it was a dude. Oh my God, I was flirting with a dude. You know, all of that. Whatever. And it seemed like people cared less about what Lisa was talking about with Lance. I also like how, yes, we got the goodbye message, but nobody got a visit. But everyone is assuming someone got a visit. So that was a good circle strategy, because now you're putting a little bit of confusion into the circle chat, because everyone is telling the truth. They didn't get a visit, but they don't know that. They think there's the lies, you know, that's what they thinking. I don't understand why everyone thinks Emily automatically went to go see Chloe. Yes, that was her best friend, but Mitchell just admitted that he was flirting with Emily. So why wouldn't anyone want to believe Emily might have went to go see Mitchell? And the gotcha is Emily, who was Jack, said he was going to go see Trevor. I don't understand that pick, because I just don't recall Emily and Trevor ever having that big of an interaction for that to be his one reveal. But I don't know. Let's move on. In Emily's goodbye message, he says something about hashtag I got your back. Like, you can't trust people because people don't have your back. And I'm like, didn't you say that to Savannah? So I didn't understand the shade Jack was trying to throw in his message, but let's move on from that. What happened next? So now the circle chat opens, but what they don't know is that Jack and Lisa are lurking. So as they're calling each other liars, wanting to know who saw who, and you know, they're exposing that the makeup really did Emily in, they're getting to see the feedback. In the circle chat, for whatever reason, let's jump ahead to the exciting part. For whatever reason, Khat decides that being number 2 was too good for her. She want to be at the bottom. Maybe it's a reverse strategy, because remember, I don't know if you all watch Circle Brazil, but at the end of the Circle Brazil, even though the girl who won is who I wanted to win, but she was never at the top of the leaderboard. She was always at the bottom or next to the bottom. Like, she just rubbed people within the circle the wrong way. But in that last vote for Circle Brazil, people over strategized and they end up putting their favorites at the bottom, hoping that it would push them to the top, that they end up pushing old girl all the way to the top and she won the money. Not mad at it. That's what y'all asses get. But maybe that's what Khat is hoping for. Like, I'm too close to the top. Maybe if I tank myself when it comes to the final vote, I'll win it. I don't know. I just don't understand why Khat did what she did. She opens up a chat called the Southern Queens group chat. Now, number one, you ain't that close to Courtney and River. And from my LGBT friends, did I say the letters right? Y'all know what I meant, no disrespect. But from my friends, people just can't come up calling you queen because they know that you're gay. Like, you have to have that kind of rapport. And I'm like, you don't know them to be calling them queens, but maybe she do. I don't know. It seemed like she didn't. But that's what threw me for a loop at first. I'm like, you don't know them like that. Like, maybe Chloe has that kind of rapport with them. But let's move on from that, because that ain't my fight. But that kind of just was like what are you doing here, Khat? And so then she opens up the chat being messy, talking about, ooh, let's get this messy stuff on the table. I want to know what's going on with who went to go see who Emily went to go see and why people up in here lying. I'm just trying to get in where I fit in. And I'm like, where are you trying to fit in? You trying to fit in at the airport line on the way home? Like, what are you trying to do here? Like, you are new. Especially when you're new, you don't know the true dynamics of the game. To me, the only person Khat should be having this kind of conversation with is Mitchell. Because that's who she claims is her true alliance, who she truly trusts. You don't know Courtney and River like this. Then it's just, I don't understand why Khat cares so much who Emily went to go see. Like, how does that affect your game in any way? Even if everybody lies, even if everyone, even say Chloe was lying, how does that affect you? And by you getting River and Courtney to admit that they think Chloe is lying, what do you think that's going to do? You think that Chloe lying about a visit is going to cause everyone to drop her in the leaderboard and make you number one? I don't understand your strategy behind that. You ultimately messed up your game because I had to go back and think, and I'm like, Chloe voted you number one. And you over here trashing her to her best friends. Now, I like how River and Courtney played it. River and Courtney were sitting back, listening to everything. It was like, yeah, they want us to, she wants us to trash Chloe, but we ain't. And the whole time, Courtney is like, we need us a Kardashian clique meeting. River is like, I can't wait to talk to these Kardashians about what Khat is over here doing. I'm like, Khat, you're ruining your game. It's like Khat told Tara Alicia, like, Tara Alicia in here acting the ass. Hold my beer, Tara Alicia. Let me outdo you. Because to me, what Khat is doing is way worse than what Tara Alicia is doing. Tara Alicia did. And I just don't understand why. It was very hard. It very, very, very hard to watch. But anyway, let's move on. John officially joins the circle. Everyone, you know, says fake shit, very welcoming. They can't believe he's a psychic. They can't wait to try it out. Who cares about any of that? The Geek Challenge. I do like the fun, corny games. I don't know why. The first one was Uranus. That was an easy one. Everyone has learned their planets in what, 5th grade? 4th grade. We know it. Number 2, I would have got number 2 wrong too. Number 2 was a math problem. And you know, math is my thing, but it was like a wordy math problem. I would have got 50 Shades of Grey. The Toy Stories, I have no clue. I recall maybe my son might have been young enough for Toy Story 1. But by Toy Story 2 or however many came thereafter, I don't recall him wanting to go to the movies to watch it. So I don't know anything about the Toy Stories. Why is that a tongue twister for me? The 13 Stripes, easy. 99 Problems. River, how did you guess 100 problems, but you couldn't get 99? Lee is old enough to know I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. I don't care. That crossed all genres of music. And you guessed 100, Lee. But, whatever. Up next was the sports one. Number 1, that one was too easy. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. That was way too easy. But when I got on Twitter and saw how many people didn't know, I'm like, how? And looking at Delisa, I was like, girl, how? Like, everybody knows Michael Jordan. It's easy. It was just so easy to me. But then again, I grew up in that era. I grew up in Illinois, so of course I know everything about the Bulls during that era. I just felt like it was too easy. Like, they should have put Steph Curry up there, or maybe even Dwayne Wade. Like, put Dwayne Wade up there with LeBron and see if you could guess that. Like, to me, that would have been harder because I just feel like that trio is so, it's, to me, and it could just be me, it's like one of the best trios. And it was super easy. Whatever that last question about the directions, I was like, Chloe, I'm good at those type of questions, but I would have needed a piece of paper and I would have had to sit down and think, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, you talking about going 2 miles north, 3 miles west, how she got to get home. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, John's team wins. Congratulations. John and River connect on a deeper level, but I really feel like John and Lee connected. I like Lee. Why couldn't Lee play himself? Though he's doing a good job playing River. Okay, now it's time for the Kardashians to have their clique chat, and all the tea was spilled about Khat, and Chloe is pissed. She was like, I'm done. Because it's something stupid to even do within the circle. And Chloe is like, she was my girl. Like, I rated her above my Kardashian clique, and she over here tripping about a visit, and I didn't even get a visit. Whatever. So, sinking your game, Khat. Now it's party time. The winning team get a party, and they play Pony by Genuine, and all I have to say is Delisa. Delisa. She was giving life dancing to Pony. I'm like, girl, lucky husband. I like her. And I saw a tweet, because I think I did end up following her on Twitter, because I saw something where she was like, thank you for giving me a check mark or whatever. I said, let me follow her, because I just like her personality. And I saw something, I don't know if she tweeted or somebody else tweeted it and she retweeted. And they was like, they understand why she's playing her husband, because it's hard for a black woman to play this game. Now, I ain't saying it. All black women are like Terlisa and Khat, but I do see why she wants to stay out that drama. It seems like Terlisa and Khat just can't help themselves. Mind you, it makes it interesting to watch, but I just be at home like, what are you doing? I feel like if more people played like Terlisa and Khat, maybe it would be even more interesting. But you have to be fake. You have to be low-key. You have to tell people what they want to hear. And then give us the good TV in the apartment by yourself. Then you read. And then you vote their asses out. Up next, Khat has a private chat with Chloe. And this is where Chloe shows you how to play the game. Chloe is in there. And mind you, at home, we can see the shade throughout her messages. She is shading the shit out of Khat. Telling Khat everything she wants to hear. And if Khat had any amount of sense, like she got that Terlisa syndrome, can't read through the lines for nothing, she would see that Chloe is talking about her, talking about don't worry about a snake, because one thing about snakes, they end up biting themselves or whatever she said. I said, girl, she talking about you. And Chloe's like, yes, she's on my side. She's on, yeah, I still got Chloe, yes. And I'm like, Khat girl, you are dumb. Like, why, if you in your heart feel that River and Courtney went back and told Chloe about the conversation, number one, that should tell you Chloe and River are closer to, that group is closer to Chloe than they are to you. So you are in danger, girl. Because if they didn't give a damn about Chloe, one, they would have been trash talking her with you, and two, they wouldn't have went back and told her what you said. So off rip, if you have that feeling, you should know that you're in danger. And you're like, oh, I feel so good about Chloe. She still has my back. And I'm like, Khat, you look foolish. And that's the end of the episode. They didn't do any ratings. So I'm like, we still don't know where people stand, because we didn't get to see any ratings. We really didn't get to see any strategy. But I really feel like Chloe's about to be another influencer, and depending on who's influencer with her, Khat getting ready to go home. Now, if it was me, I would let Khat stick around, because you need somebody to vote at the bottom for this final rating. Like, you need to have a go-to bottom person that you know everyone is going to bottom. and not want to give them a high ranking. To me, Terralisha would have been that perfect person. I would have never voted Terralisha out because I feel like even for strategy purposes at the end of the game, no one's going to vote Terralisha high for a strategy. So that's just me. That's how I would want to play the game. I would be voting out all the 3s and the 4s. Anybody that was ever close to being an influencer, you gone. You ain't going to get a shot. You should have did it this time. But anyway, like, comment, share. Let me know what you thought about episodes 8 and 9 of The Circle. I have not watched 10, 11, or 12. I will. They'll probably be up sometime over the weekend as I watch them throughout Friday or Saturday. Okay, and I will see you all later for the next reviews. Bye.